Hello everyone. If you are here watching this video, you probably know what this thing is right here. This is a brace for an AR pistol. This particular one is the Shockwave made by CAC Industries. It's a pretty good one. I like it. It's simple, it's cheap, does what it needs to do. Now, this was on a firearm, but it's not anymore. Save all your criticisms for me complying. Okay? Well, you can think them anyway. Basically, if you haven't heard it, about 120 days ago, the ATF suggested a new rule for the Federal Register that states that pistol braces are basically not allowed to be on AR-15 pistols because they make them a short-barreled rifle. So if they are on there, the rifle, quote-unquote, would have to be registered with the NFA. If it's not on an NFA-registered firearm, it is then illegal. Now, a few interesting things there. Number one, basically, if you're going to make something an NFA firearm, it's registered, and it takes a long time to go through it, and you have to pay a tax stamp. I believe they're waiving the tax stamp, those generous lads. They're waiving the cost of the tax stamp, but still, that firearm is now being registered because you put a little plastic accessory on the end. Now, some of us live in blue states, which means that they might not allow NFA items. My state does not allow NFA items. I cannot have short-barreled rifles, short-barreled shotguns, machine guns, suppressors, nothing. It's a very, very dull, boring, sad place. Now, with that said, if I could register a pistol as a short-barreled rifle, I would not, because I am not going through the time and the nonsense of doing it. I'll just take this off. Now, I know some of you would say, why are you complying? You know, call me 101 names. Well, because with my luck, I'd probably get caught somehow, so I don't want to be bothered with that nonsense. So I just pulled it off. The funny thing is that, allegedly, these are not illegal. I guess you can have 1,000 of them in your house. And again, I'm not an attorney. I'm not a legislator. You read this on your own. I'm just telling you about my understanding. But it doesn't appear that these are illegal. It doesn't appear that AR-15s are illegal. But when you put them together, craziness and mayhem ensues. And then something really, really terrible and dangerous and evil and scary is made. I was watching a news story about this, and they were saying that there was a mass shooting in Colorado in a market, and there was another one, I forget where that one was, a couple of years ago, and that the person had a pistol, an AR-15 pistol with a brace on it, and they said that it just makes it so dangerous. Well, here's what's funny. Some people put these braces on to kind of mimic a stock. And they did that because putting a stock on would make them illegal. If you say that people can't have braces on their pistols, couldn't the criminals just put a regular stock on their pistols? Whether it be a 7-inch or a 10-inch or a 12-inch pistol upper? Because, you know, if you don't care about going into a store and, you know, murdering dozens of people, you're probably not going to care about sticking a stock on the end of your pistol. So really what this does is, once again, it's a law that basically targets the law-abiding people. It doesn't target the criminals. It doesn't prevent anything from happening because, I mean, someone could just, first of all, they could just ignore this. It's not a law. If I did say law, I misspoke. I apologize. But they could just ignore this rule and just keep their pistol brace on, or they could ignore, you know, the big NFA rules and just stick a freaking stock on there. Now, I know that would be illegal, but it's also illegal to go into a building and shoot people. If you're going to go in there and probably commit 35 felonies, what's one more? What this is, essentially, is just another way of chipping away at the Second Amendment rights we have and we enjoy. And, you know, they're going for the lowest hanging fruit. First, you know, it was the bump stocks, and then places went after magazines. Now they're going after braces. If any of you watch Guns and Gadgets, Jared from Guns and Gadgets was reporting about all the legislation that has been proposed in Massachusetts, one of which was to ban semi-automatic firearms. Don't worry, though. The government will be able to have theirs. Just you and I, because we're dangerous. We don't know how to handle that kind of stuff. But that's what they do, and they're trying to chip away, and they're trying to I was going to say slowly and steadily, but I think it's really sped up. I wouldn't even say slowly. Let's call it steadily disarm us until they get us to the point that we have only a muzzle loader, and then they'll go after those too. Maybe they'll let us have a pointy stick. But all kidding aside, though, this is not going to be illegal long term, because I think there are going to be so many lawsuits. The ATF's head's going to spin, and they're going to lose. And, if you think about this past year, we had the Bruin decision, which talked about firearm regulation. I don't think it would stand up to that, to be honest with you. I think it is absolutely relevant. And on top of that, there was another Supreme Court case. I want to say it was like the EPA versus New Jersey, or vice versa. And basically it involves Chevron deference and how the alphabet agencies need to stop running roughshod over Congress and trying to formulate laws when they are actually an executive branch whose job it is to enforce laws, not make laws. Just like the ATF is doing right now. They are basically trying to make law. That's not their job. Their job is to clarify things, which I also find a bit unusual, because the ATF actually authorized the production of pistol braces. Don't forget, when you create some type of an accessory, usually, depending on what it is, you'd go to the ATF and say, hey, is this thing legal? And ATF looked at them and said, yep, it's legal. It's a brace, it's legal. Go ahead, have fun. Then, if you remember, they switched things around and said you could have it, but you couldn't shoulder it. Well, that's great to know. If your firearm touches your shoulder, you're a felon. Great job. Those are some smart people. And now they're saying it's illegal. So now, are we going to fire all those people who said it was legal in the first place? Are they going to do that? Because wasn't Dettelbach there before? Are you going to fire him too? I wouldn't be complaining about Dettelbach being fired. If you don't know, he's running the ATF now. But anyway, for those of you who might be kind of angry about the whole thing like I am, you know what? They're going to get sued. And you know what? I don't see how this stands. I really don't. It's just more liberal nonsense from the gun grabbers who want us all disarmed. So stand firm. And you know what? I got to tell you, if I see these on sale anywhere, because they're still legal, I guess, from what I'm seeing, they can still be sold. You just can't put them on your guns. Might be a good idea to pick them up cheap if you can still legally buy them, which from my understanding, you still can. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Ask an attorney or something, or an FFL. I'm neither. I'm just a guy, talking on YouTube. Anyway, have a good one. Talk to you later.